Hello and a very warm welcome to The Real Talk. I hope that your day is going well. Thank you for making time to be part of this conversation. Use the hashtag The Real Talk so that we can be in conversation. If you have a question or a comment and you want to contribute to the conversation that we will have today, use that hashtag anywhere on social media. I will find it. 31 years of liberation, Rwanda has made great development, huge steps as far as development is concerned. And today we're looking at something that has contributed to this, the decision to decentralize. We're going to learn about decentralization, what that means, and what that has done for Rwanda. It is time for us to meet our guest. And welcome once again. My name is Jackie Lumbasi. We are at Mythos Boutique Hotel in Kiyovu. Our guest is Bob Gakire, who's the PS MINALOC. Bob, thank you for honoring our invitation.
My pleasure, Jackie.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. You know, before we get into the meat of it, how is a typical day for a permanent secretary?
I would say it's an interesting day.
Does it start very early or it's easy on you?
It has to start very early because a permanent secretary, I would say, is somebody who is in charge of coordinating the ministry, looking what is going on as far as administration is concerned. Is everything in order? What is on to do today, and what are the things maybe that have been done previous days? How do they relate to inform what is going to be done?
And like you organize the days timetable for the ministry.
What will be done, the timetable, who is who, when, expectations to come out of it. How can they help the institution to move on as it should?
Wow, that's wonderful. So I'm really excited about this conversation, an opportunity for me, and I'm sure even to the viewer, to learn about decentralization. But before we get there, it would be nice to know a bit about you. Tell us a bit about yourself, something from the childhood days, and the journey that you have walked for you to be who you are today.
Well, I would say it is, first of all, it is an interesting journey. And it is an interesting experience. Personally, one of my favorite memories, like these early memories, is the time I spent with. I normally used to love to be with my grandfather way back then, and then why? Because I would get these stories. He was a good storytelling person, and then also, I would say one of the memories is all about that. He was, you know what they call the catechist?
Yeah, he was a catechist.
Yeah, these people can teach you how to do the Holy Marys and everything.
Yeah.
So all that, what I can maybe pick and relate today, after all those years, is how can you know things? And how can you, what does it mean to work hard? Wow. How can you shape your future? So those are the kind of things that I do relate back and say, this is what shaped my life.
Yes.
And then you also had, as a person growing up, I had some memories and had some dreams. I thought I would be a journalist.
Was this big, a journalist? Because I was going to ask, was being PS part of the dream? You thought you'd be a journalist?
I think comparing the profession I'm in now and the years I've been doing it, it evolved into doing what I dreamed of.
Oh, okay.
I remember back then, maybe fast forward to the high school, I grew up liking current affairs.
You'd read newspapers, watch the news.
Watch the news, listen to radios.
Yes.
Back then, the Capital FM.
Yes.
I remember that's how I've been, Jackie. Those morning shows at Capital.
Because I've been in the media forever.
The rating Alex Darola, we used to listen to maybe early in the morning. But also some other shows, the political shows. So I grew up getting interested into that.
Wow.
But then fast forward where I am, the dream and what I thought I would be doing actually I'm doing it in another way.
Yeah, in another way. That's right. You know, you recently, when because we're still in the liberation mood, and you wrote an article where you described decentralization as a legacy of liberation. What inspired you to write that piece? I read it, and you know, it was such an eye-opener. I've always read about decentralization, but your article broke it down so well. So I would love to know what inspired you to write that article. Why do you describe decentralization as a legacy of liberation? And for someone who does not know, if you can also give us a simple definition of liberation.
Thank you, Jackie. There are two things. There is liberation, but there's also decentralization. Maybe for the interest of the viewers, those who are following, decentralization is all about, in a simpler way, in a layman's way, it's all about bridging the gap between the government and the citizens. But in a technical way, it's all about giving some powers, authority, resources, and positions to other layers of the government. So it has some bit of forms and types. Forms here we mean the devolution or delegation or the concentration. Types would be like administrative decentralization, whereby you say, for me, I can, as an entity, as in this term, in terms of local government, I can hire the staff, I can manage them, and I can even capacitate them without seeking any other authorization. Then politically, which is the most important part, is do people have voice? Do they decide on their own who should be their leader? Do they have power to they exceed their powers in the way they wish? So that is about the political one, the political part, the political type. And then there is this one of financial, because in principle, if you give people power, authority, and positions, of course it involves responsibilities. You need also to think, how do they get resources to exercise their power, to even do these services which can't be done by the central government. But as I said, in a simpler way, it is about the way, the efficient way of bridging the gap between the government and the citizens.
Okay. A government can decide not to decentralize.
It can.
It can,
there are
yeah?
so many countries which are not decentralized by the structure. But when you talk of liberation now, this is what I was saying in the article you talked about, was how the decentralization we have now, which is 25 years. Actually, some people are asking, why are you not saying 31 years and you're saying 25
years.
It is a legacy for liberation, I mean decentralization. So because when you count the years, this is the policy or the choice the government came up with around 2000 and 2001, the procedure way, the policy being adopted by the cabinet, and then coming up with the laws. That is where we count from. We count from 2001 to the current. That's why it's 25 years. So we are into the period of celebrating that what has been done, how has this journey been evolving, what are the achievements, what are the challenges, what are the lessons learned, and how can we shape the future of this journey, because it is most important journey, and you can't sit and say that this is done and keep on. You have to think, after this jubilee, 25 years, what else? But Rwanda decided, because of many factors, I mean, I had maybe some few. You see, before 1994, there was this concentration of power, inefficiency, that brought even the mayhem of genocide against the Tutsi in 1994. So people came up together by then and said, among other things, after all this unspoken thing, what can we do to shape the country? So among the five, maybe I would say the 5 points or items that are being discussed, there came in the way the government can be governed. So among the 5, under the period of democracy, that's where the policy of decentralization came in. So how can we give people more power, more authority?
Take some from the government.
And then that is, you'll be, instead of somebody coming from maybe a district in Rusizi, which is so many kilometers away from Kigali, you find somebody works in an administrative entity, is coming to Kigali to pick up stationaries,
Yeah.
whatever, to get money for fixing a bridge or clinic, whatever.
Even petty cash, they have to make weekly trips.
Exactly. So why can't you decide, so you know what, a district like in Rusizi or far away from the central in Kigali can sit and decide and procure and have this, and then after 1 year or 2 years, you can assess as a central government, but not seeking everything from Kigali. That is concentrating everything on one space, yet you need efficiency, you need to run faster, you need to develop socio-economically and everything. So that was the most important thing why the government decided to have this choice. And you may ask, what is so unique about Rwanda's decentralization?
Yes.
Because you know there are some countries, as I said earlier, there are 3 forms. Devolution, where you decide everything. This local leader is like the supreme of everything. The only person above him or her is the president. But for Rwanda, the choice was, let us implement all 3 forms. Let us implement devolution at a certain level. Let us bring in delegation and the concentration. To break down is devolution, you can do everything by your own as a sub-government. But with delegation, partially there's what you do and there's what the central government does. Let me use an example maybe of like education sector. Local government here in Rwanda, they can things to do with the primary education, they can construct classrooms, they can manage the staff, but when it goes to the high school, the universities and tertiaries, that is managed by the Ministry of Education. Basically what the central government does, the difference is, the central government is about policy making, putting up some laws, ensuring M&E framework is efficient and timely, ensuring that there's capacity development, institutional, organizational, and personnel. But the rest, implementation, transforming the communities, is the responsibility of
the local government.
To do it, that's why the devolution comes in. There are certain taxes that are done by the local government. Property tax, trading license, rental income tax, and some other fees. The list is long.
This fees is not remitted to the central government.
When I'm a district A, whatever, however much I collect, I am able to use it as it is collected.
Okay.
And I decide whether it goes to constructing a bridge or fixing a road.
You decide your priority areas.
Depending on what...
On the needs of your people, yes.
It becomes a legacy for liberation, because liberation is 31 years.
Yeah.
This one is 25 years.
So we look at what has been achieved in the 25 years.
It brings inclusivity, community empowerment, because now people can sit in their own way, decide on what can be done depending on what they need first. Not you at the central level. You may think that this community needs electricity, when for them, they need water. Because they can sit somewhere through the assemblies, their community assembly, and say, you know what, yes, we don't have electricity, we don't have roads, but we also don't have water. And if it doesn't rain, I can't get water. But for electricity, I can decide to use other ways. For the roads, I can maybe walk or do other way. But for water, it is something I only get when it rains. And I don't have a lake nearby or a river. So it's all about saying, me, I know my issues. Yeah. And that's why I said it is a legacy of this liberation we are still in celebrating.
Yeah. This is amazing, you know. So now, and I'm glad you highlighted that devolution, the difference. Devolution, delegation,
and the concentration.
And concentration. So when you talk about, and for devolution, I've seen in Kenya with the new, when Kenya brought in, they decided on devolution. And let me tell you, for me as a Kenyan, an observer, I've seen the good and the bad that has come out of it. Because also if you give so much power to that governor, because as you said, the only person above that person is the president. So it's like one country with very many governments. And when the resources are not well managed, you find there's a lot of wastage around. That's what I have observed today. When, for example, as you say, the local government will be in charge of primary and we looked at education. You used education as an example, and you said at the lower level, the district will be in charge. But what if the district feels constrained? Can they come and say, I know you're helping us at the higher education level, but we have failed in one way or the other. Maybe our main source of income was affected for one reason or the other, and we're not able to meet our objectives for this year. Is it possible for the government, then central government, to say, okay, good, we're going to take this burden off you? Do you do that?
We
And
do.
what modalities do you use?
I would elaborate maybe. By the way, when you say the government is decentralized, it doesn't mean that everything has gone.
Okay.
So,
You didn't
but
leave
through
everything
the
to
coordination
them.
framework in place, when maybe when an issue rises and you see maybe local governments do not have this capacity to fix these community issues, that service or that activity, people sit and they can decentralize that service for a certain period of time to fix some of the issues. I will give an example in the education sector or even in the collection of fees. If maybe hiring the teachers with the volume, with what it takes, with the cost, people sit through the coordination framework. We do have what we call the ministerial governance clusters, the social and whatever. They say, you know what, in the social cluster, there is an issue of hiring teachers. The government can sit and say, you know what, let us decentralize recruitment of teachers. We are not taking away this activity from the government, but because of lacking teachers and the efficiency in it, let's first decentralize it and fix these issues, put up the systems, maybe digital and whatever, then it will again be decentralized. Because our decentralization of Rwanda has certain principles. Among the principles, there is what we call subsidiary principle, meaning the government can do everything, but whatever it can do, the central government can come in and do it.
Okay.
So it is still a unitary government, but which has that structure that does everything, mainly for efficiency of services. But when it fails, it can be decentralized. I can maybe give another example that is more related with revenue collection. Before, up to 2014, if I remember well, the fees, the devolved fees I talked about, rent, trading and everything, were done. District would decide how to collect and administrate these fees. But then thereafter, there were some issues related with capacities, efficiency and whatever. Then the government decided, you know what, if you have what we call Rwanda Revenue Authority, why don't we decide, after agreeing with local governments, that it does this collection for them? You're not centralizing the taxes. You're just bringing, say, RRA has the capacity and the systems to collect for you, and what you will do, because you're an independent entity, you will pay the fees for collection, a certain percentage. Like usually, the way a company can say, you know what, I can't hire, I can't recruit,
but I'm going to
I'll
outsource.
hire a company called Gakire, you
Yes.
hire for me, I pay for. So
You pay for that service they're
Rwanda
offering.
Revenue collects
Yes.
and gets that collection fee, but everything it collects has to be submitted to
The district.
districts.
The district will pay RRA
The fees.
for
Either
that
10%
collection.
or 5%, depending on what you collected for me. What that saves? It saves maybe some illicitities around the collections, timely getting to know who hasn't paid, who has paid, and everything.
Yeah.
So, but
That's
if maybe
that's
at a
brilliant.
certain time, you say, you know what, now districts or subnationals are more developed, they're more capacitated, you can still take that service, instead of paying that 5% or 10% to the district, depending on the capacity and how the issues are being fixed.
And now the issue of structure. What is the structure of the local government, and how do you ensure that we don't have people fighting over, or conflicting over roles? Who has a voice where? Where does the power lie? Who's the person in charge?
Who owns power?
Who owns power? What are the different roles of these different levels of governance within the district? Because again, if you don't take care of that, people will fight over different issues. Conflict, a land issue will be taken to another
Issues to do
department.
with
It shouldn't have
popularities.
popularity,
Elections are coming for next year.
Exactly. Imihigo,
Who does
another
what?
thing. Who performed better than
How
the
is my
other?
role being identified?
Thank you very much. So
Well,
what have you done to avoid conflict?
Structure-wise, I would say it is clear.
Okay.
The roles and responsibilities are clear. Okay. There is this government, the government of Rwanda, that has decentralization. I would say there is a line between the central and local government. And I said earlier, the roles of central government are clearly known. There are only four. Me as a ministry, I'm a state department at the central level. An agency is also a state department, but at the central level. The role of the central government is about coming up with the laws and policies. Then capacity building or development. Capacities in terms of resources and everything. Then M&E framework. Whatever these 27 districts or governments do, how are they coordinated and how they contribute to the national development and even the future plans. And then the fourth one is about, I said, policy formulation, capacity development, M&E framework, monitoring and evaluation, and then resource mobilization. Because the district can't maybe get money to construct a flyover or a certain mega industry. That is why the central government department in charge would come in and mobilize for that resource. That is where the line for the central government stops now. Now comes the line from the local government. The district in Rwanda, we have, so far we have 27 districts that have this decentralization or implementing the policy. Their role, it is implementing those policies that were adopted by the central government, be it the policies of agriculture and consolidation, the policy of maybe education, the policy related with health and social protection, access roads, at whatever category, that is the role of the district. In the district, by structure, the district has some layers as well. As through the arms of government, you know, the executive, the judiciary, the legislature, that is how they come in local government. The district has like four management organs, but the supreme organ is what we call the council, normally called Njanama. So this is the supreme political organ of the district. These are the people who are elected every 5 years as councillors. So the prime role of the council is like an instrument for voice and accountability.
Are these elected by the residents of the district, the people in the district?
Every 5 years. Like the current term of office is ending next year, around November. So thereafter, there will be elections. And we elect councillors, wherever we are. So, but that structure, there's a district, which is a subnational or a sub-government. Then under the district, you know what is called sectors or imirenji.
Yes.
And then the imirenji also is for the service delivery. The civil registration, marriage, and some other services that can be delivered by the district. And then there are cells, which have around 20 to 21, 25 services depending on the location. The urban cells may be having certain services that have more than the rural cells, Utugari, in this sense. Then there are villages. Yes. So these are the layers below the district. But the supreme organ in local government is the district that has the council and the people who do the daily business, who are the executive committee members. That involves the mayor and the 2 vice mayors. Yeah.
Who does the budgeting? Is it the council?
The budgeting, the exercise part, the technical part is done by the executive committee with the secretariat. But the former management organ that I talked about, there is the executive committee, which is the mayor and the vice mayors. The district has who we call the chief budget manager.
Oh, okay.
The district executive secretary. So he leads that technical part. I would say the executive secretary of the district is like the PS of the ministry. This chief technician, chief coordinates the technical part, the administrative part. So those are the ones who proposes the budget. But it is the council that approves the budget every year.
Let's take a short break. Still on the issue of the budget. Now that decentralization is about giving power to the people, giving them a voice and bringing service closer to them. What role do they play in planning for their district and the budgeting as well? When we come back, I would love you to respond to that. Our guest today is the PS of the Ministry of Local Government, Bob Gakire. It's such a pleasure to have him here. We are talking about decentralization, an opportunity for us to learn, because in one or the other, decentralization affects all of us. And so I thought, why not take this opportunity for us to know deeply what our involvement can be? We are at Mythos Boutique Hotel in Kiyovu. They have the Atmosphere restaurant. I'd like to talk about them because on a daily basis, during the week especially, they have the lunch buffet that I would love you to discover if you haven't. If you have a small work meeting, you can come and have it here. But also if you have a family member or a friend who's visiting, they will always be ready to accommodate them. We're taking a break, but we'll be back. Don't forget we're live on our TV and on our YouTube channel. Please share the link so that we have others join the conversation. Welcome back. My name is Jackie. Our guest is Bob, the PS at MINALOC, and we are talking about decentralization as a legacy of liberation. Bob, that question on planning and budgeting. So how do the citizens, since you've decided we will give them a voice, you will take services closer to them, how do they influence the planning and budgeting for their district?
Thank you, Jackie. The government has strategies for the long term. For instance, now Rwanda has Vision 2050. But you can't wait for something to be done in 2050. So what is done thereafter, there are some midterm strategies. Like now, we have NST2 after NST1.
Yeah.
National Strategy for Transformation 2 after implementing of the 1. So basing on that, as I said, Rwanda, despite having decentralization, it still has some principles that guides the functionalities and organization of the government. So the district also have strategies, but those strategies are aligned with the Vision 2050, with the midterm strategies, with what we call NST2. So for the district, they do have what we call district development strategies, DDS. So every year, as for, in Mihigo, they pick, that is how it is aligned. DDS are aligned to sector strategic plans, to NST2, to Vision 5050. But there in the DDS, there is particularity of each district, because one size can't fit all. Yeah. The district of Rutsiro, or Rubavu, or Musanze can't have the same targets, indicators. By the way,
the population could be different, the terrain is different.
The demographic trends,
yes,
and everything. So we also have cities, we have like 11 cities across the country. Apart from the city of Kigali, we have other cities around 11. And then these strategies are the ones that informs the yearly plans of the district. And then these plans, that's where come in Imhigo. So Imhigo came up as a tool that since you can't wait for the DDS of 5 years, let me illustrate with an example. If I want to construct, maybe I had a plan of constructing 100 kilometers of roads, tarmac roads, in my district. You just break down into 5 years. In my first year, maybe I will construct 30 depending
20,
on the budget available. Next year, I can construct 30. Or the other one, I can construct 5. So you take this an example of maybe of 100 tarmac roads, kilometers, then you break it down into the yearly targets.
Okay.
But by the end of 2029 or whatever,
by the end of the 5 years, you'll have achieved it.
You would have implemented. When it is not straining, you have the clear plans, and you can even have the resources that are budgeted as per the council and the approval of the budget for each district. And this brings in even the better way of coordinating, but also the accountability. Because it is easier for me as a councillor, as I said, the councils are the ones responsible for holding the secretariat and the staff of the district. At least I'm able to come every year or every quarter and ask, you had committed to construct 50 kilometers of roads in this year. How far are you? Are you at 20%? Are you at 100? What are the issues? Then the same coordination framework. If an issue rises at the carrier asked, you can escalate this issue to the central government, through the Minister of Rural Government in this sense. Then the concerned ministries or departments of the government, they meet, they say, you know what, since District A can't construct 50 kilometers of roads, let us accept the target of 40, maybe. But depending on the conviction and how the issues were, and then you adjust accordingly. So that's how the plan is structured. It depends on national strategies, come the DDS, district development strategies, and then the yearly plans that includes even Imhigo targets.
The issue of accountability, for me, that is important. And I keep going back to Kenya because of the changes, the devolution that we all saw and what has come out of it. The times when you hear haggles between the governments and the central government. So the central government will come and say, oh, Oh, no, the local government. The governor will say, maybe we're supposed to do these many kilometers of roads, but the government did not release money. There's also a lot of resources being wasted. So how do you curtail wastage? How do you, as the central government, ensure that these people are accountable? How do you also make sure that the imihigo is not used as a way of fueling competition or covering up? When I told a friend that I was coming to have this conversation with you, he sent me to ask you a question. And he gave this as a scenario, an imagined scenario, where, for example, maybe some work was not done, a certain target was not hit. And then a citizen, a local, Muturaje goes and says, you know, this you promised to do, you haven't done. And the guy will say, or the person in the office will say, shh, don't say that loudly, because now you want to affect my image for the year. You want to affect my performance. So you keep quiet, I will deal with that. How do you make sure that we don't have such instances where there is some sort of cover-up? So wastage of resources, cover-up, the general issue of accountability.
Thank you. I would put it in in three perspectives. First of all, the existing framework, the accountability frameworks, both at the central and the local level. At the central, you know, we have the Office of Auditor General, we have the Ombudsman, we have some others. The list is long. The GMOs, those are the accountability organs. But in doing their laws, they align well with what is being done in local governments. In the local governments, as I said, the council is the supreme accountability organ. So to avoid wastage, apart from the OAG, the Office of Auditor General, districts also have internal auditors who carry on, who are, and these people, they report to the council. They don't report to the mayor or the executive secretary. So having this, I would say, this power and this privilege of reporting to the council, which is the accountability organ, and doing it every quarter, it increases some level of accountability. So it doesn't, you won't run away with the wastage, because you'll be asked. Apart from even that, apart from the OAG and internal auditing and the councils, they do submit reports at least every month. Not only to the council, remember I told there's even what we call the province, that are led by the governors. They're not the governors of the other, of Kenya.
No,
these are the
these ones are different.
These are the governors of Rwanda, I would say, are like the delegates of the central government. They play a role of eyes on, hands off.
Okay.
They don't implement.
Eyes on, hands off. Good.
You just watch.
Yeah.
You can coordinate. You can advocate. You can advise. But you can't implement. A governor can't execute a court judgment or the staff of the province. They can't maybe say, I'm going to construct your house and everything.
They cannot make that promise.
But they just coordinate, advise, and advocate.
Okay.
And every business now
in
the district, in doing so, there are those layers of accountability. And then for Imihigo, as I said, it was a tool for accelerating the development and transformation. So we retreat regularly. If something is going on well, we also learn from it and implement. But the most important message that is always delivered, it is not about competition, it is collaboration.
Okay. Because
the way you see, if competition is good, but it is more good when it is being done collaboratively. If I want to be the first, it's okay. You can be the first, but how are you getting there? Are you not wasting resources? However much you construct like art, state of the art and whatever, but because the message you get, and as always been following, you use less to achieve more. So in doing so, even if you have a lot of money, doesn't mean that I will put up something that is not necessary. That's
you don't have to spend all the money.
That's why, by the when these audits are being done, the component of value for money is so important. Was this money worth the value? If not, it is a case indeed. So you're always balancing that. Yes, I have this money, but the money I'm putting into this, how much is the value? can't I use this little money and maybe have like a multiple way of getting what I have to achieve?
Achieve more, as you said.
Instead of building something that can even learn up to be idle because of not thinking.
Yeah.
But this is done through the coordination framework existing now.
Yeah.
We normally have what we call government meetings, delivery forums. And these help not only updating ourselves, but also updating each other, what should be done, where are the issues, and how can they be fixed. Sometimes it even involves some other state departments, ministries and agencies, and then decide which way to go, who is doing bad, how can we support. That is why you see maybe some joint teams are being put up to fix this issue, whether it is in health or agriculture, or maybe we're experiencing like some disaster. What can we do as institutions?
Yeah.
So that jointness tries to prevent some of the illicities that would be happening. Then on devolution, I think it was a good choice by the government of Rwanda way back in 1999 when these consultations were being done to come up with decentralization. As I said when we were starting, we decided to implement all three forms, including devolution. But not, we would have said, I think as a government, that let's go devolution.
Yeah.
But you have to first implement and learn, and then from the learning, you do better. Because this policy and the journey of 25 years were first implemented in a phased approach. So every 5 years, the government would assess, what have you achieved? Yes, politically people are electing their own people, but how are they being done? Even go like deep, say, do we need like 100 councillors or 50 councillors? Why can't we have fewer, that is quality versus quantity, and then do better? So it is about experimenting and learning every 5 years, and then do better. So devolution would be good in one way, but in another way, absolute power.
Oh my God, it corrupts. It does corrupt. What would you say, because there's no system that is perfect, what would you say have been the challenges that you have overcome? So far, what challenges have you overcome? What are those lessons that you've learned? And as we look at achieving Vision 2050, what are the things that you will do differently, if any?
Thank you. Rwanda is not an island. When something external or external imperatives are happening, it affects not only the government, like you said, it doesn't affect it affects even that local government in one way or another.
Yeah.
And then what I would say is the capacity development I talked about, in all its three forms. We still need capacity to adapt with the new changes. Because as you know, Jackie, we are living, I would say, the volatile world.
Yeah.
Uncertainty, ambiguity, challenges. So you need this mass of people, local government staff that can really adapt so fast, be it in skills, be it in what is required in this period. So we still have that capacity, both institutional, organizational, and personnel. We still have that gap. The rest are manageable, maybe sometimes M&E framework system. By the way, there are so many things as part of the system that have been done through the financial way, the service delivery. For instance, more especially on service delivery. Yeah. We are getting much digitalized in a way. Because our mission is we move services, we do not have to move people.
Move services, don't move people.
As the State Department, be able to move services, don't move people.
Not move people.
For instance, let me use an example of something that is maybe required by majority of Muturaji. If I need a birth certificate, currently, I don't have to move.
You don't have to come from Bugesera to Kigali.
Distance,
go get the birth
time,
certificate.
Cost. I don't have to.
Yeah.
Even the sectors, because I can apply it on phone, get it. If the bank needed it to anybody else, I just send the request number, we just keep it on my phone. You would say that is for the people of smartphone. Even the village, if somebody who doesn't have a smartphone can still get
found
this
a way of serving them
without making a long distance, without paying much cost, transport, but even time. So this Muturaji gets time to go to attend his or her gardens and do other things. So I'm just giving an example. There are so many. So the thing is, let us keep on moving services and not
Without
move
moving
people.
people.
And then in this, but also in other ways. So in doing that, we need the capacity I talked about.
Yeah.
We need capacity, we need facilities. And this is something, empowerment is something that you can't say, I've done it and I'm done.
No, you keep doing
You
it.
keep doing it,
Yeah.
you keep capacitating your people. So those are the kind of challenges.
Yeah, yeah. The lessons that you've learned?
We've learned that flexibility is important.
Flexibility is important.
Very, very important. You shouldn't focus only on procedures. You should focus more on results. Procedures can be adaptive. They can be adjusted. As long as the results were genuine and real, in real time, then procedures can be managed. Flexibility is very, very important. If it wasn't flexibility, like you said, you can't come up with a devolution, say I'm merging this district or this sector with this, without the society that is not flexible. It would bring some conflicts within the communities, and even like, it brings some conflicts that is beyond your control. So lessons, flexibility is important. Another thing is capacity. You can't say I've done I've taught people, I've put in facility and I'm done. It is something that is done now and then.
You keep teaching
but the most
people.
of all, leadership. I don't think if the government of Rwanda would have been able to celebrate these 25 years with a lot of achievement without the political will of the government. Some other countries, I don't have to mention the names, failed because of lacking that. Are the ministries working together? If I come up with an idea of saying I'm restructuring the district, will the ministry in charge of finance accept? Will the ministry of infrastructure accept? If I'm saying maybe this activity or this sub should be decentralized, so that becomes easier because of that political will. So those are the three most important lessons.
Wow.
But above all, leadership, that political will,
Yeah.
the flexibility
Yeah.
is very important, and then the capacity is built instant. You can't say I've done it and I'm done.
Fantastic. And indeed, leadership is key. And as you said, flexibility also means if you try something and it doesn't work, please correct it.
Yes.
Yes, try something else. As you
Cool
said,
down,
yes,
sit,
cool down,
retreat,
sit, go back to the drawing
and
board.
then the world is still moving on, move
Yes,
with it.
yes, you don't suffer with that. You know, would you say there are any sort of decisions that have remained with the central government? No much as we have given powers to the people, the district, some people might say, no, certain decisions are still centralized. Would you say there is? Is that a case? Or it's just people's assumptions?
Some are.
Okay.
But of course, what I think is about understanding. Why is this still at the central level? Why is this decentralized? We always get some people saying, why don't you decentralize this? Why don't you decentralize this because it is failing? It lies more with understanding the context.
Okay.
Some are centralized because of the capacities I talked about. You won't say, you know what, now the district have 25 years governing themselves, they have this decentralization, that I'm going to let the district maybe to construct a district hospital. You may need an intervention of the Ministry of Health, the design, what is needed, the equipment to put in. You can't just say, no, what, the council can decide.
Yeah, I leave it to the council. They have 25 years experience.
So those, they are there, but those which are still centralized, they have some genuine reasons. But strongly, I believe, with the discussions, with the coordination framework in place, we keep on decentralizing. Currently, we have an order, a Prime Minister's order, that is in charge of sectoral decentralization. What does it mean? There are certain services that are sectoral. That is in agriculture, in education, in health. Why this order comes in to help us or to guide us or to orient is, if a time allows, give us a roadmap of when this can be decentralized. That is related to the political we talked about. Even having an order, a sectoral decentralization order, that allows us to sit as a joint team or technician and say, you know what, these services can be decentralized. Or these, the flexibility I'm talking about, or these
can be re-centralized.
Depending on the situation we are in.
Oh, wow. That is a whole masterclass on decentralization and re-centralization
Where need be.
where need be. What more do you think a Muturaje can do? Like, is there something you, they're already involved, but is there more you expect from them? When you look at them, when you study how we operate, what more do you expect from us, Baturaji?
The first thing is participation. Frameworks for participation are there at all levels, for all groups. The 5 years of elections I talked about, when we are electing from the village level, where this Muturaji is actively participating, not only participating politically by electing the leaders, but also assisting them along the 5 years. When he or she needs you for a certain assembly to discuss the issues, please turn up.
Yeah, yeah.
And maybe turning up doesn't mean that you have to go and sit somewhere. These days things are easier. If you're in a city setup or dwelling, you can participate even digitally, but try to participate. So what I would ask for the Muturaji is, please be part of this. The government has the frameworks, the community assemblies, the Muganda every month. Participate in Muganda just for like 3 or 4 hours, doesn't cost you anything. You're contributing, being obedient when they're paying these taxes, they're contributing. I would say just maintain the active participation in this decentralization. In everything. In education, when you see the kids, taking the kids to school, maintaining the healthy,
Clean environment, hygiene.
It doesn't cost anything to actively participate in a disciplinary way, in a normal way. That is what I would ask the Muturaji, to participate and actively participate in whatever level.
I love
be it
that.
elections, be it Uganda, be it community assemblies, be it...
Because sometimes we just choose to sit in a corner and complain. And yet you can do more.
By the way, when even you're like texting like this Myowozi or this leader at whatever level, you're participating. Because since he or she can't be like in every corner, but let's do something before alarming. First understand as well, by the way, also to understand the context. Why am I not getting electricity? Or why am I getting water before electricity? You can't know this when you're not attending, when you're not participating in these forums.
You know, I'm on our Mudugudu WhatsApp group, and I love it when somebody will take a picture, for example, of a guy who's cutting down trees, and they will come to the WhatsApp group to report that person. I was passing by this place, and I saw this person cutting down trees. Chairman, are you aware? What is going on there? So he tasks the Mudugudu leadership. Can you go to that place, find out what is happening? And they do the same, even, for example, if there are issues in a household, certain home, there's whatever different, whatever, they really engage their Bayobozi. So that's a good thing. As you said, the Muturaji needs to participate more.
And in doing so, you're bridging the gap. I talked earlier, bridging the gap between the government and the citizens. So that we aim to the citizen-centeredness as we normally popularize it.
You know, as the PS, you have this very important role of overseeing and coordinating. On a personal level, what keeps you going? What is your motivational factor?
When I see, when we are like in a meeting or and discussing something that can be done, as I said, can be done by by local government, and you see it happening, it is a motivational factor. I came to believe and even strongly believe that most of the things being done, you can't value them in monetary way. So then when I clearly understood that way back, I said, you know what, there are certain things you do and they are invaluable, and when you understand that, it motivates you. So that is, I would say, that is the most important thing. Whatever I do, even if I bring an idea as a technician, I say, but you know what, why can't we come up with maybe some orders regulating the settlement? Because of the issues you're hearing here and there, and then you see it happening, my bosses, whoever it is approved, they say, at least.
You're happy.
But why don't you come up with this? Why don't we maybe, like I said, why don't you maybe reduce the councillors from this number to this number? Because of having a large number of this level, it come up as an idea. And then you see it happening, you say, now, those are the things that keep motivating you.
I love
You can't
that.
value it in money.
No,
But it came as an idea. You also based on assessments done. Then you see it happening, you say, now, at least I'm contributing at this particular level, at this certain level. Then you get motivated.
I love that so much. Sometimes we get lost and feel unmotivated or undermotivated because we're looking for the monetary value, which is not visible. So there are certain cases, instances where you will not see the monetary value. Yeah.
Because I believe when you go into the monetary value, you will never have enough.
Yeah.
Enough is yet to come.
There will always be.
Enough is yet you're yet to get. If you get it, it becomes little.
That's true.
So
very,
look
very
for
true.
other motivating factors and you move on.
Yeah. Are there any reforms that we should look forward to? Anything coming up in the near future?
I think when you see the 25 years Jubilee and the current challenges, be it in capacity, the demands of the citizens from Muturaji are becoming higher now and then. So when these demands are to be addressed or met, you need to structure in a way. But in this sense, the idea that is on table now is, I talked of the cell, Akagari. I think these are the kind of the plans we have now. How can we make, because in Rwanda, yes, there is local government, but the cell is the only entity that where you interface with the Muturaji. I mean, it's the only entity of the government that has the government agents or civil servants that meets this Muturaji. So in this area of efficiency, of these uncertainties, you should consider this layer as the most delivery unit for local government.
It's the most important.
So the feature, the whatever, that's why it is now. Those are the ideas being discussed on what can we make this layer more efficient, more capacitated, be it in facilities, be it in people who work there, because it is the only interface, the closest interface between the government and the Muturaji.
Yeah. All right, as we come close to the end of the program, if there is anything that you want the viewer to remember from this conversation, what would that be?
I would say we need it continuously, relatively, comparingly support decentralization, because it is the only way that you'll be assured of the efficiency of the public sector. The more power, the more resources, the more positions you're decentralizing, the more liability of efficiency. So the warning is we shouldn't get it go. Be it the central government and local government would fail if we let it not achieve as it is.
Yeah. So you need us to continue supporting it.
Supporting it continuously,
compellingly,
and relatively.
and relatively. Thank you, Bob. It has been a great pleasure having this conversation. I have learned so much. Thank you. You know, the things we see and we just let pass. Sometimes you think, that's not my responsibility. Oh, well, let me not educate myself about that. But from this conversation, it's very obvious that we need not to take anything for granted and every opportunity to learn should be appreciated. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you, and I look forward to having you back someday.
Very much, I suppose.
Thank you. Our guest is the PS at the Ministry of Local Government, MINALOC. What a pleasure it has been to have this conversation with him. And I hope that you have learned something from it. Huh? There are things that could happen and you will blame the central government, yet indeed you're supposed to talk to your local government. Let me not put in the word blame. Talk to your local government. But also, for me, the most important thing that has come from this conversation with Bob is your responsibility as a citizen, as a Muturaji. Let us do as much as we can to get involved, to participate, and to support decentralization. Some of the things that we complain about, service delivery, when you go to the land office, it will be probably because we are not participating enough. So let us be a central part of decentralization. My name is Jackie. It has been a pleasure to bring you this conversation. A big thank you to Mythos Boutique Hotel for hosting us. We're looking forward to seeing you again next week. God bless you.